Jessica Alba gets slammed for her political post on Instagram, so much so that she deletes the comments, turns the comments off, and people run to her other posts to give them a piece of her mind. But people are wondering, is she secretly going to vote for Trump and she's just doing this lib thing just for the sake of it, just for the image? Let's talk about it. So let's take a look at Jessica Alba's Instagram. She's got 20 million followers. Obviously, she's a household name, more than an actress now. She is the founder and owner of Honest, which has started out as diapers and some non-toxic stuff for kids, and now it's skincare, beauty, whatever. So she posted a photo of Michelle and Barack Obama. This was 2 days ago. And the caption is, in quotes, "This is our time to stand up for what we know in our hearts is right. Hope is making a comeback." She tags Michelle Obama, and then she says, "Cried 47 times watching this dynamic duo. Let's get to work." Fist bump, heart, and then she tags Kamala Harris, Tim Walz, whatever. And then let's play the clips of the speeches that she showed from Michelle and Barack Obama.
America, hope is making a comeback.
Okay, everyone's so happy. Great. Now let's go to the Barack Obama clip.
I am feeling hopeful because this convention has always been pretty good to kids with funny names who believe in a country where anything is possible. Because we have a chance to elect someone who has spent her entire life trying to give people the same chances America gave her. Someone who sees you. We need to remember that we've all got our blind spots and contradictions and prejudices, and that if we want to win over those who aren't yet ready to support our candidates, we need to listen to their concerns and maybe learn something in the process. After all, if a parent or grandparent occasionally says something that makes us cringe, we don't automatically assume they're bad people. We recognize that the world is moving fast. I am feeling...
Oh my gosh.
Whether you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, or none of the above, this is our time to stand up for what we know in our hearts is right.
Okay, great. And then the last photo is of Harris and Walz. So Jessica Alba posts that a few days ago, and immediately, within, I think, the hour, it is flooded with negative comments. People are not on board with this. They are not with it. They do not like Jessica Alba posting this stuff. And it got so bad that she deleted the comments and turned off the comments. So you know how sometimes on Instagram posts you can see it says content creator has limited comments on this post. She didn't even do that. She deleted all of them and then completely took away the ability to comment on it. And now people have gone to her other Instagram posts just to give her a piece of their mind because they don't like the fact that she has deleted the comments and turned off the ability to comment. So let's go take a look, because I think that these comments, the overwhelming flood of these comments, says something about where we are culturally. It says something about where Gen Z is, because you see a lot of these people, not only millennials and, the Gen X and boomers online, but you see some Gen Z in the comments too. And they're like, "Hello, Jessica Alba, what are you doing? Well, we don't want you to support this." So someone said, "Tell us why you turned off the comments on your Obama post. How much did your soul cost?" Someone says, "Politically naive individual, which part of Harris's agenda is your favorite? The high crime, the high taxes, the high inflation, open border, late-term abortions, puberty blockers for confused children, men and women's sports, blah, blah, blah. Please tell us." Someone's like, "I love how she turned the comments off. She gives 0 Fs about anyone, just a puppet. That's why she turns her comments off on political posts. Always loved your movies. What happened, Harris? Come on, girl, disappointed. Surprised you're not in Chicago cocking up to Kamala. Obamas aren't really bringing hope, just a doomed economy, you NPC. Keep posting that DNC garbage and you may not be so lucky." I don't know if that's a threat, but I hope not. Someone says, "So you only support Kamala because she's a woman? Very shallow and sexist. Kamala has no qualifications. She has been vice president and look at this economy. What should we vote for? Why should we vote for her?" And it is just hundreds, maybe even at this point, thousands. Here's another post of Jessica's. She posts herself in a cute jumpsuit and people are, saying a lot of stuff here. Okay, not this one. Let's go here. She posts another political one. This was just a few hours ago. And this is a picture of Kamala and a little girl and everyone saying, hell to the nah, nah, nah button. Can you explain what her policies are? Because she can't. Another person says, Kamala is currently in office, sweetheart, but I'm guessing you're voting based on the fact she is a person of color and a woman. Who wants to vote for policies that will lead to an economic collapse? I mean, you get the point now, right? All of these posts are flooded with people who are not happy with what here's another photo. This is a selfie that she posted. Somebody said, Jessica, you are a very talented capitalist, yet you support the Marxist Democratic Party. Why is that? That's a good question, because at this point, Jessica Alba is a very successful businesswoman and she's got a successful company. One thing I always carry in my car or in my kid's diaper bag is a first aid emergency kit, because accidents always happen and you never know what might fall at your feet. You might be on a road trip with friends, taking a vacation with family, out hiking with your kids. Whatever it is, you want to be prepared. And this kit has everything you need to treat over 30 different medical conditions and emergencies, including bleeding and bite wounds, anaphylaxis, toothache, skin infections, UTIs, dermatitis, and more. And all you need is one kit to be prepared for unforeseen emergencies. I always have one stashed with me on the road, and now you can get one for 10% off with my code GINA10. That's 10% off of any and all purchases from the Wellness Company. And all you need is one of these to get started. So click the link in my show notes and get one for yourself. So for a long time, celebs have had influence, a lot of influence with their political beliefs, especially during the height of political correctness, which I think we're very much coming out of. We've been coming out of for a little while now. And today, everyday Americans are done with it. They don't like seeing celebrities post about politics and encourage them to vote for somebody in particular, especially, and I think a lot of this started unraveling in 2020 when everyone was locked down. They were told to stay inside for your own safety, and celebs were getting online and they were preaching at other people about how important it is to stay safe and stay inside. And yet these celebs have a pool, a mansion, private shoppers, private drivers. They have their own private chef. They have everything they could possibly need at home, living in this ginormous mansion. And I think from there, especially, a resentment started to grow towards these out of touch celebrities. And I think Gen Z is especially growing more and more weary of these celebs because they can smell inauthenticity a mile away. I think that's one of the most heartening things about that generation, is that they have spent the most time on the internet. I mean, a better way to put it is they started using the internet at a much younger age than millennials and especially Gen X and boomers did. So Gen Z is really good at identifying who's authentic and who's not. They're really good at smelling like ads from a mile away, sponsored content. And they are really good at identifying which of these celebs are totally out of touch with reality and which ones are a little bit more genuine. You can even point to the Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni drama with It Ends With Us that happened recently. I think a lot of people were supporting Justin Baldoni, especially Gen Z, because you can tell that he's a genuine guy. He genuinely wanted to bring awareness to DV and to victims of DV and to women who are suffering in these abusive relationships. Whereas Blake Lively, all she wants to do is sell her shampoo, her new hair care products, hair care line, whatever. And so I think a lot of the younger generation, I think they can smell this inauthenticity and they don't like it. They don't want to see any more of it. So they're flooding to the comment section and letting her know that, hey, we don't want this anymore. We don't want you pretending like this is the right way to vote just because of someone's skin color, just because of someone's gender. And look at this clip in particular that she posted. Obama in this clip talks about prejudice and blind spots and grandparents saying offensive things that are cringe. Like, this is the clip that she chooses to share. This is how out of touch celebrities like Jessica Alba are. They only care about virtue signaling and these Marxist ideologies that force people into the camps of oppressor versus oppressed. They only want to place people in these categories while the rest of the country cannot afford groceries. While parents are selling their kids' furniture to buy meat and eggs, while millions of our tax dollars are funding foreign wars. And 30-something-year-olds cannot afford to buy a house because the housing market is so garbage. And this is what you want to put on a pedestal, Jessica Alba. You want to show these clips about Michelle Obama saying that you have to do what's right in your heart. All of this emotional fluff and this social justice nonsense that Americans are sick of because their lives are in shambles. And people like to hate on Gen Z, and they like to say that Gen Z is lazy and they're entitled. And sure, there's plenty of people in Gen Z who are. But at the same time, I think we have to recognize that the economy that we have left for Gen Z makes it impossible for them to start off on a good life in their young adult life. These expensive student loans, a terrible job market. Let's not even talk about the housing market. It's impenetrable. They can't afford sometimes they can't even afford a place to rent, let alone to buy, when their parents or their parents' parents especially were able to afford a house when they were 25 years old. And we're not just talking about coastal cities. I know a lot of Gen X and boomers, they're like, well, then move out of New York City and California. We're not even just talking about LA and New York and Miami anymore. We're talking about a lot of cities in the rest of the United States where you cannot afford to buy a house. And we have left Gen Z with a terrible economy. And yeah, there's of course an element of personal responsibility and they should make good choices. Yeah, of course. But why are we also denying the other element here and the other component where the economy that this government has created and has aided in is terrible? It's absolutely horrible for these young adults. And it's really difficult for them to get a leg up on their young adult life and step into the world as adults successfully. And so I think now this election, particularly Gen Z, is old enough now to know more about the economy than they did in 2020 and especially in 2016. And so I think a lot of younger people now are coming forward and they're like, oh, Jessica Alba, you want to post a video about the Obamas talking about social justice and prejudice? I don't care about political correctness. I want to be able to afford groceries, get a good job, and maybe get a house one day. Because like 10 years ago, 8 years ago, a six-figure salary of $100,000 a year, you were doing well. You were doing just fine. Today, a six-figure salary like barely makes it in a lot of cities. And I know you can be like, oh, well, I live in a really small town and we make it on $50,000 a year. I know that there are some places in the United States, of course, that are going to be a lot cheaper, but not everybody lives in these small towns. You know, work and family, life keeps people in different areas of the country. And just because you can make it in a small, obscure little town in America, that doesn't mean that should be the only place that you can survive. Why don't we want other cities to be more affordable for people? Why don't we want more mid-sized cities to be a more affordable place for Gen Z to live? And so I think this election in particular, you're seeing a lot more of Gen Z come out and bash these celebrities for taking a very out of touch stance with this election. And I don't blame them, because this is not the kind of economy that we want. And something has to change. And there's nothing about Kamala's platform or policies that indicates any kind of change that they're going to make. Someone tweeted when I shared this on Twitter, X, whatever you call it now. Someone tweeted, they were like, I bet you Jessica Alba is secretly voting conservative, secretly voting for Trump. And that's actually not a bad take, because a lot of celebrities, I mean, A-list celebrities, are secret Trump supporters. And I think that we can just guess that if you're just a fan, if you just like, or if you're just an onlooker, you can just guess that. It's a very educated guess. But let me tell you also from personal experience, some of you on my channel have been with me for quite a few years. You knew who I was when I was still working for Candace. And let me tell you, this is not a secret, because Candace has talked about this on her show before. She's mentioned that there are A-list celebrities that message her and say, hey, I'm a conservative. I'm a Trump supporter. Thank you for your voice. But they act like they're liberals online. They act like they support all of these Marxist ideologies and feminism and mass immigration and the, T-gender stuff. And yet they message her and they talk about how conservative they are. I mean, A-list celebrities. And when I was working for her, I have a list of names in my head. You would not believe the tea. You guys, you would not believe the A-list celebrities' household names that have messaged people like Candace over the years to tell them how conservative they are and how much they love Trump, and they're secretly voting for Trump, but they have to keep the image of liberal just so they don't get their careers blown up in flames, which is kind of more infuriating. Like, grow a pair and support who you want to support publicly. But when someone replied to my post and they were like, I bet you Jessica Alba is secretly voting for Trump, I responded and I was like, maybe I'm actually friends with a family member of hers. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say anything else about who the person is, but I'm friends with them. So I texted them and I was like, hey, I sent them this screenshot of Jessica's post and I was like, is this for real? Like, is she for real a lib, or is she secretly a conservative, secretly a Trump supporter, and she's just doing this for the image? And they responded to me and they were like, I wish that she were secretly a Trump supporter, but unfortunately, this is Jessica Alba. Like, she is an out of touch lib. Like, she is blue and libtard through and through. And I was like, okay. I mean, in a way that's a little bit better to me. I would prefer people be honest. Like, if you are more honest about what you believe, we can work with that. That to me is a little bit better than lying online just for your image. But so no, the answer to the question is no. I don't think she's secretly voting for Trump, and that comes from a family member of hers. But all that to say, I think this bashing of Jessica Alba is actually heartening. I'm not saying that you should go bully people, but I don't think she's being bullied here. I think that people are just speaking up and they're giving a piece of their mind because they are sick and tired of these out of touch celebrities saying that we should vote for politicians because they are, I don't know, emotionally, they're talking about prejudice and these social justice things. Nobody cares about that. Okay? People would really like to just afford a car. They would really like to just buy a house. And they would really like inflation to lower, please, because this economy is just horrible. So that's it. Maybe she'll see the light one day. I highly doubt it, because these celebs, as the years go on, as they become more and more successful and more famous, they get more and more out of touch. And that's the unfortunate truth about these celebrities. And I think Blake Lively is another good example. She is so completely out of touch with reality, as we've seen, as I've talked about on my channel recently, that now she's promoting a movie about DV and she's acting like it's some rom-com, wear your florals, bring your friends, ha 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 ha, buy my hair care. It's because these celebs don't care. They don't care. They're out of touch, and they're going to vote for whoever the mainstream machine tells them to vote for. And they want you to do the same, but we will not listen. No, we will not. Let's vote for the person who's going to give us a better economy, please. At this point, that's like all I care about. That's like the entirety of the platform. All I care about now is just a better economy. And of course, there's other social things as a Christian conservative I care about. But at this point, just let people live comfortably enough. You got a lot of families. I have a lot of families that message me that were able to live on a single income like 10 years ago, 8, even 5 years ago, but 5 to 8 years ago, it was fine. They had 4 kids and husband worked. Mom was able to stay at home. Same family, not able to do that now because of inflation, because the prices are out of control. So thanks, guys. Let me know if there are any other celebrities that we can bash on my channel. Okay. See you next time.